Hi, everybody, and welcome to Stay at Home Wine Wednesday. As we figure out how to navigate and stay sane during this COVID-19 era, I hope that you and yours are safe and are practicing safe distancing and social distancing and all the types of distancing we're supposed to be doing these days. But remember, you can still have a glass of wine with your neighbors, just across a fence, or at the other end of the driveway, or across the street. Have some fun with it to keep your sanity, but it's still possible. But in all seriousness, I hope everybody is safe. So today I'm going to talk about one of the really, really great French wines. No, we're not talking about Bordeaux, and we're not talking about Pinot Noirs and Montrachets. We're talking about Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Always been one of my favorites. For those of you who know me, you know I'm a big California guy, but I've always loved Châteauneuf-du-Pape. In English, it's the Pope's New Castle. The Pope's New Castle. Yeah, when all this is over, go into your favorite wine shop and ask for some Pope's New Castle wine and watch them look at you crazy. Anyway, the history of this area is very complicated and highly connected to the Catholic Church and its popes. But its history goes all the way back to the 14th century. I mean, it's been going on a long time. There's been changes and there's been reasons for all of it, but there's a long historical record of Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Châteauneuf-du-Pape region is located in the southeastern corner of the Rhone area. Now that also puts it in the southeastern corner of France also, okay? It is a very dry climate. As a matter of fact, it has to be arid. It's part of the, in order to be a Châteauneuf-du-Pape, it has to be arid enough that you can grow lavender and thyme. You can't grow thyme, but the thyme that is an herb. It has to be arid enough to grow them. The producers in that area are very protective about their vineyards. In fact, in 1954, they passed a decree that banned flying saucers. Yeah, banned. They couldn't fly there, they couldn't fly over, they couldn't land, and they couldn't take off from that area. I think that one might have gotten passed kind of late at night after a few bottles of wine. That was kind of crazy. But this wine can be red or white, but the red is the one that they're really known for. I mean, there are white Châteauneuf-du-Papes, but red Châteauneuf-du-Pape is where it's happening. Surprisingly to me, there are a lot of grape varietals that can legally be grown in areas, as particular as they are about their wine. They have a lot of varieties that can be grown in the area. Now, Grenache Noir is the leader of the pack. About 70% of the grapes grown in that area is Grenache Noir. And so it's the dominant grape, with Syrah and Mourvèdre being the other mainstays. Now, Grenache, Syrah, Mourvèdre probably sound familiar, as most Côtes du Rhônes are those three grapes also. So why would you pay the extra money for a Châteauneuf-du-Pape when you can get a Côtes du Rhône? Well, the climate is different. It's more arid, it's hotter. The soil's different. It's very rocky and stony, so it gets a lot of radiated heat. So you get a different flavor. Also, there are many grapes that are grown in that area, 13 to 15 that can be used. So each Châteauneuf-du-Pape will taste different. But it is a very, very highly rated region. And almost every year, there's a Châteauneuf-du-Pape that is in Wine Spectator's top 10, 15 wines, almost every year. And this leads me to my wine of the week. My wine of the week is Chateau Beaucastel Châteauneuf-du-Pape. This is my very favorite wine from this region. I was introduced to this wine in the 1979 vintage. So I have been drinking this for a long, long time. Now, it is one of the few in Châteauneuf-du-Pape, in that area, that grows the 13 grapes that were originally designated as grapes to be grown in that region. And they pretty much use those 13 grapes every year. Now, they may not use them all the time, but generally they do, and they grow them all. This is a highly consistent wine. I have said many, many times that this is probably the most consistently highly rated wine of the last 20 years. If you go back through the Wine Spectator Top 100s for the last 20 years, you're going to see this wine in the top 100 almost every year, but not every year. But like the last few years, it's been in the top 20, many times in the top 10 and even the top 5. This is the 17. The 17 was, I think, rated at 94, 95 points. So it has a really good chance to be in the top 100 this year. But just remember that the Châteauneuf-du-Papes can use different grapes. So not every Châteauneuf-du-Pape is going to taste the same. They're going to be a little bit different, but they're just delicious wines. The region, the area gives it depth and structure that you don't get with a normal Côte du Rhône. So I highly recommend you give one a try. They're going to run any place from probably 40 to 140. Chateau Beaucastel tends to run in the 90s, depending on the store it's in. And I'm not suggesting you start there. If you can afford it, do it. But it's a magnificent wine. So everybody, please be safe, and I'll look forward to talking to you next week. I might even throw an extra something in between now and next week. But cheers to you. Safety to all.